Hi everybody, it's Nikki here and welcome to today's video. Now, I have a very bare face, which feels really weird, really weird. Because today I am taking part in Palette Bingo, hosted and run by a couple of lovely ladies. We have joining with us on this round for April. We have DW from Dub's Beauty Diary, Amy Melissa, Erica Ashley and Jennifer from Jen Beauty. I will link all their channels for you in the description box below the video, so please do check them out before you leave. So yeah, I have been watching specifically Amy's palette bingos over the last couple of months. I actually realised once I joined this collab for this month that I wasn't actually subscribed to a couple of these lovely ladies. So that has now been rectified because we need to support our community, and some of these ladies are small YouTubers like myself, and I prefer to support the little guy or gal rather than the big, you know, 21k 100k YouTubers, because I feel like you get a more, I don't know, a more personalized, more genuine. I don't is anybody else feel like that? I feel like sometimes the bigger YouTubes just don't feel genuine. I feel like, you know, they're catering to a market rather than just smaller YouTubers like myself who just literally want to share their love and enjoyment of what they do on their channel. So yeah, I just feel like the smaller YouTubers are just a little bit more genuine, just my personal opinion. Anyway, let's not get into that. Today I am doing Palette Bingo, and the reason why I'm able to join in this month but I wasn't able to join in before was because I didn't have those previous palettes that were chosen, but this month I do. It is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette, and yeah, I absolutely love this palette so much. I actually bought the full size palette because I had this little single eyeshadow from the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I got this from the Feel Unique sample service, and as you can see, I do have pan in this shade. This is the shade Sense, which is in the full size palette. Yeah, I was using this in my Project Pan, my 22 in 2022 Project Pan, I think it was, and I managed to hit pan in this, so I am extremely happy about that. So if the shade Sense does get pulled in the random number generator in here, then I will be using the single rather than the one in the palette, because I want to use this one up before I play with the one in the palette, because then the one in the palette is left. It's this shade here. I want to use up the single so that I can get that one out of my collection and then just be left with the one in the palette. Doesn't make sense to have pan or be working on both. So if I do get pulled the shade Sense, then I will use the single, not the one in the palette. But this is what the palette looks like. It's obviously upside down because the mirror's there. But the numbers will go sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, in that direction, as I'm looking at it, rather than the way that I actually hold it. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Before we waffle on any longer, I have my random number generator up here. You can see it reflecting. So let's give it a shake and find out our first number. Number 2, okay. Our second number, 4. Our third number was 13. Our second number, number 10. Oh no, that was our fourth number, losing all sense of thing. And our fifth and final number number 11, and that is the shade Incense. So, okay, so the shades that we got, I'm gonna have to hold it like this so you can see, was number 2, which was Luster, number 4, which was Flow, number 10, which was Breath, number 11, which was Sense, and number 13, which is Calm. So let me just swatch those for you. Okay, so those are the swatches. That one's the only matte. All of the other 4 are shimmers. That's not great. Calm, that seems to be a matte. I think it might be a matte, or it might be a satin. I don't know, not 100% sure. But this is going to be interesting because we have these warm and then we have these kind of green and yellows. And this is why we like palette bingo, because it throws us completely out of our comfort zone. So I'm not afraid of playing with bright colours, but trying to combine the warm shades with the greener shades, because let's be honest, I bet most of us will either do a look with these 9 or a look with these 6. They'll never combine the 2 sides. And that is me. That is completely me. But today we're going to be forced to. I really wanted the shade Equilibrium, that one. I love that shade in here. But yeah, so I guess, what are we going to go in with first? You know what? I'm going to go in with Breath first, and I'm going to do that all over the lid. I'm only going to do the one eye, and then I'll go off camera, finish the other eye, so we're not here all day, because I can chat for England. So we're going to go in with Breath, which is quite a shade that kicks up a lot, but we're going to try it. I'm going to need to use my thing. Okay. So how is everybody? Shall I update you on my health? Because that is the thing that's been going on in my life recently. So my chest infection, as of time of filming, which is, I'm filming this on the 31st of March. I have finished my antibiotics, so they're all done with now. The pain in my chest has subsided. However, when I go to bed at night and I'm lying down, which I can now do, because there was a period for about a week where I couldn't actually lie down. I couldn't lie down on my side, I couldn't lie down on my back. I haven't been able to sleep on my front for years. And I don't like sleeping on my front. I don't know why it is. But I couldn't lie down for a week because of my chest infection, and breathing hurt. Like, it hurt so bad. But that now subsided. There's still a bit of a pain when I lie down to go to sleep, but it's not so uncomfortable that I can't fall asleep, whereas before it was. Like, before I would try to lie down and within 5 minutes I was like, nope, too much, nope, can't do that. Because the pain was keeping me awake. So that has now subsided, so I feel like I'm much better in that sense. The chest infection has definitely gone away. Now, it didn't come out of the blue by any means. I'd had a really, really bad cold, or possibly the flu, I'm not sure. Never know the difference between the flu and a really, really bad cold, because I never go to the doctors. I should, but I never do. Both me and it took my husband and me both out. I was bedridden, so it might have been the flu. I don't know. What's the difference between the flu and a really bad cold? I don't know. But definitely my when I had that really bad cold, I felt rough. Like, I had no energy. I was just sleeping for the whole week, 10 days that I had it. So I think the chest infection developed from that because I am asthmatic. So I think that the cold or the flu, whatever, had travelled into my chest, and that's what caused the chest infection. So yeah, I like that a lot. I do. Right, we're gonna go into what was the other shade? I think we're gonna use Flow in the crease. I wouldn't normally use a shimmer in the crease, but we're gonna have to today, I think. So let's do that in the crease. No idea what I'm doing, by the way, no idea. I'm just going with it. I'm just going with the flow. Be here all week. Anyway, yeah, so health-wise, my health has been really bad for over a year. I've been having some stomach issues as well for about a year. I haven't been able to drink anything fizzy for over a year because it just makes me really ill, makes my stomach bloat and like more than usual. You know how you normally feel like a bit bloated after you've had a fizzy drink? Well, now when I drink a fizzy drink, I feel so bloated I can barely breathe. Like, it's painful bloated. So that's happened to me. But anytime I try and tell a doctor that, they go, oh, that's just your age. Anybody else who's like in their early 40s can't drink fizzy drinks, please tell me that the doctor is right and it is just my age, because like I know other people who can drink fizzy drinks and they're my age, so I don't know. Anyway, I love this colour. So yeah, I haven't been able to drink fizzy drinks. And then also about 6 months ago, I noticed that I was being sick quite frequently and like physically sick. I was coughing, I had, you know, trapped wind, I had, you know, I was burping a lot, I was, you know, bottom burping, shall we call it. And I wasn't having a great time. And so I started being aware of what I was eating before that was happening. And I noticed that it was any time I had like a cup of tea or a cheese sandwich or something like that. So I thought, maybe I've become lactose intolerant. I don't know. So I cut out dairy products from my diet. It did ease the symptoms a bit, but the symptoms have not completely gone away. I don't know if that's because of like, you know, hidden lactose in foods that I may be still consuming, that is still affecting my stomach. I don't know, but I haven't had a lactose intolerance test yet. I've also been to the doctors because I think I might possibly have what's called a hiatus hernia, which is one that's like on the stomach, because I showed my daughter the shape of my stomach when I'm like trying to sit up. It only happens when I try to sit up because obviously I'm a big girl, so there's a lot of weight around my stomach area, and so it only shows up when I'm trying to sit up and use my stomach muscles to sit up. And I showed my daughter and she went, don't do that again, that's freaky, see the doctor. So I went to the doctor, but she said she couldn't officially say anything. She thinks it might be a hiatus hernia, but she can't say anything because of my weight. And she did that. The doctor actually went, because of your, weight, in like that. And I was like, what, my weight? You can say it. I'm fully aware. I'm overweight. You can say this. I acknowledge I am fat, okay? But the doctor was like trying not to say the word, and it's just like, get over yourself, love. If I had a problem, I would tell you. I do want to lose weight, but that's another story for another day. Okay, moving on for the eye look. What other shade did we have? So we've used 4 and 10, so we need to use Luster, Sense and Calm. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with Luster and Sense on the eye lid, so let's do that. Let's go in with Luster first, so that is actually no, I'm going to go in with Calm and Sense. Calm and Sense, but I'm going to use the single for Sense on my eyelids. So let's go in. I'm going to put cream base on for the eyelids because that's what I prefer to do. So I'm going to use the Milk Jumbo Eye, the NYX Jumbo Eye Stick in Milk. Words. So yeah, this is difficult. This is why I don't do tutorials. So yeah, so I need to go back to the doctor's because that one was useless. I'm sorry. She wasn't useless. She was just, she just didn't give me what I needed. Like, she didn't even say, I can't tell, but I'm going to send you for a scan or whatever to find out what it is. She just said, I don't know, but I think it might be. Go back to your normal doctors, because it wasn't actually my normal doctor that I saw. So yeah, that was frustrating. So I think I will go back to my doctors and just sort of ask them to do the test. And while I'm seeing them for the possible hernia test, I'm also going to ask them to check if I'm lactose intolerant or possibly celiac disease, because I checked on the NHS website. I only ever check on the NHS website for my symptoms. I won't go anywhere else because I'm aware, you know, I don't want to self-diagnose and turn around and go, I've got cancer. No, not that that's anything to joke about, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of people out there who will self-diagnose with all sorts of things. So I want to just ask him or her, whichever doctor I see, like for tests for if I'm lactose intolerant, celiac disease, because my symptoms are very similar to that, or irritable bowel syndrome, because again, my symptoms are very similar to that. And that's the issue, is like my symptoms could be a number of things. So I just need to find out what it is, so that we can deal with it. Like if I am lactose intolerant, fine. Now I'll be stricter on keeping, you know, lactose free. If I'm celiac, then obviously I need to be aware of any gluten in my diet, because being celiac is much more serious than being lactose intolerant, because being lactose intolerant, you know, it's not, I got from the NHS website that it, you know, if you eat anything with lactose in and you're lactose intolerant, you're just going to be uncomfortable. But eating gluten products when you're celiac could be actually life-threatening. So yeah, I just need to find out what it is that's actually the issue. I'm now going to go into my single Incense, because that was the shade picked, and I do have pan in this one. So so yeah, I just want to find out, you know, what it is so I can deal with it. And I love this shade so much. I'll blend it in. No. So yeah, Going back into that calm shade just to blend it better. There we go. Like that. Just does look a little bit weird. I want to dip into the darker shade to like darken up the crease, but I can't. These are the rules. So yeah, so I just want to go get the tests and then go for the scan or whatever it is that I need to do to check whether it is a hernia as well that is protruding from my stomach. So I can get like if I can get the actual diagnosis of what is wrong with me, then we can go from there. But at the moment I'm like in limbo because no doctor, even when I was getting sorted out for my chest infection, I was saying to the doctor, I think I might have a hernia. Can you check that? They were like, no, we're just focusing on your chest infection at the moment. So let's deal with that. And they were like pushing it aside. And I was like, while I'm here, just do it while I'm here. But no, they won't. So I know it's all to do with like, you know, red tape and finances and probably the forms that they have to fill in and everything. So, but it just makes it frustrating, you know, as a patient that you know something's wrong. You know there's something not right with your body, but every time you're like trying to tell someone, they're like, meh, eh. And that's how I feel at the moment. So I love the fact that we have the NHS in this country and I'm so grateful for it. I really am. And I'm sure that the Americans are probably there going, just be grateful, you don't have to pay for it. I am truly grateful. Our nurses and doctors work considerably hard for very little pay. They should be paid way more than our sports or entertainment, you know, careers. But they're not, and it's so frustrating and so annoying and kind of disrespectful in my eyes that, you know, footballers and actors get paid way more than our doctors and nurses and our fire brigade and our police officers when they literally save lives. You know, that's just disrespectful to those people. And priorities completely the wrong way round. But, you know, it doesn't stop me from saying something is wrong and I don't feel like I'm getting the help that I need. And it's not cosmetic. It's not, this is my health. I feel ill all the time. And the worst thing is, most of the time, it gets put aside of, well, if you just lost weight. How is my stomach issue anything to do with my weight? You know? But yeah. So anyway, this is the look so far. I kind of want to go back in and see if I can darken up that crease again. Oh, it's not dark enough for me. I want it darker. But I can't use the shade I want to use. But yeah. So we'll just have to do it like that. And then go back into this shade just to blend that out again. So, okay. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go off camera, do the other eye, put on my base products and then come back and we will finish the under eyes because there's no point doing the under eyes until I've done the rest of my face. So I will be back in just a tick. Okay, so we are back to do underneath the eyes. So I'm actually going to continue with the shade Calm, and I'm going to go with that all under the lash line. So like this. Got quite a dip in that Calm shade now. I might have to invest in some NYX glitter glue or something, because I've got to say that the shade on my eyelids just didn't want to stay. So I've had to go over it again a few times while I was doing the rest of my makeup. So that is that shade there. And then I'm going to go into the shade Sense, which is that shade there. But I have the single, so we're using the single. And then I'm just going to run that on the lower lash line as well, just to sort of slightly deepen that up. So like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to use my e.l.f. switch thing to just clean that brush off. And then I'm going to go into the shade 2, which was Luster, on my inner corner. So that's going to be my inner corner highlight. Quite dark for an inner corner highlight, so it's not so much a highlight so much as a just pop a colour in the corner. Definitely not a look I would have created with this palette previously. So that is that. So now I'm just gonna go, that is the look done. I'm just gonna do my mascara and then we're pretty much finished. So let me do that. Okay, and that is the final look. So let me bring you in closer so you can have a look. And that is it. That is my palette bingo using the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I have definitely been pushed out of my comfort zone here, because, as I say, I generally either do a look with these 9 or with these 6. I never really combine the two halves of this palette into one look. So the fact that I had to do the blues, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to do these sort of greeny blues as my crease colour, and then do the warmer tones on the eyelid. I could have swapped that round. I could have done it the other way round, but that's the way that I did this look. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see what the other girls did. Obviously their random number generator may have pulled different shades for them, but I'm interested to see what other people are going to do on this collaboration. I will say I now have a beautiful dip in the shade Calm, so that's good, and a bit of dip in the shade Luster now, which is really nice. And this shade, look at this. Is anybody else's palette doing that? It's really like flaky, and then I've got a bit of disturbance in that pan there now. So yeah, very happy. Not quite what I was expecting to be doing today with this palette, but that's what we created. I created. You just sat there and watched me. But I was happy to have you along on the journey. So that is it. That is my palette bingo using the Zendo palette from Natasha Denona in collaboration with those other ladies that I have linked for you in the description box down below. So please do check them out. So thank you very much for the ladies for allowing me to join in this time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.